Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yashoda Nandana Brajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Shri Shri Radha Madhav ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Shahinam Sankirtan ki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashta Praeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah. Hare Krishna. So reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 3, Chapter number 5, chapter entitled Vidura's talk with Maitreya, and today is the verse number 2. Viduruvacha Sukhaya karmani karoti loko Natai sukham vanyaduparamam va Vindeta bhuyas tat eva dukham Tat eva dukham Yad atra yuktam bhagwan vadena Viduruvacha Sukhaya karmani karoti loko Natai sukham vanyaduparamam va Vindeta bhuyas tata eva dukkham Yadatra yuktam bhagwan vadena Viduruvacha Sukhaya karmani karoti loko Natai sukham vanaduparamam va Vindeta bhuyas tata eva dukkham Yadatra yuktam bhagwan vadena. Please cite. Sukhaya karmani karoti loko Natai sukham vanaduparamam va Vindeta bhuyas tataiva dukkham Yadatra uktam bhagavan vadena Viduruvacha Sukhaya karmani karoti loko Vindeta bhuyas tataiva dukkham Yadata uktam bhagwan vadena. Mataji's Viduruvacha Sukhaya karmani karoti loko Naitam sukham vanaduparamam va Vindeta bhuyas tadeva dukkham Yadatra uktam bhagwan vadena Viduruvacha Sukhaya karmani karoti loko Sukham vanaduparamam va Vindeta bhuyas tataiva dukkham Yadatra uktam bhagwan vadena Word to word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Viduruvacha. Vidura said, Sukhaya, for attaining happiness. Karmani, fruitive activities. Karoti, everyone does so. Loka, in this world. Na, never. Te, by those activities. Sukham, any happiness. Va, or. Anyat, differently. Uparamam, satiation. Va, either. Vindeta, achieves. Bhuya, on the contrary. Tata, by such activities. Eva, certainly. Dukkham, miseries. Yat, that which. Atra, under the circumstances. Yuktam, right course. Bhagavan, O Great One. Vadeta, may kindly enlighten. Na, us. Translation is like this. Vidura said, O great sage, everyone in this world engages in fruitive activities to attain happiness. But one finds neither satiation nor the mitigation of distress. On the contrary, one is only aggravated by such activities. Please, therefore, give us direction on how one should live for real happiness. Please repeat the translation. Vidura said, O great sage, everyone in this world engages in fruitive activities to attain happiness. But one finds neither satiation nor the mitigation of distress. On the contrary, one is only aggravated by such activities. Please, therefore, give us directions on how one should live for real happiness. Purport. Vidura asked Maitreya some common questions, which was not originally his intention. Uddhava asked Vidura to approach Maitreya Muni and inquire into all truths concerning the Lord, His name, fame, qualities, form, pastimes, entourage, etc. And thus, when Vidura approached Maitreya, he should have asked only about the Lord. But out of natural humility, he did not immediately ask about the Lord, but inquired into a subject which would be of great importance to the common man. A common man cannot understand the Lord. He must first know the real position of his life under the influence of the illusory energy. In illusion, one thinks that he can be happy only by fruitive activities. But what actually happens is that one becomes more and more entangled in the network of action and reaction and does not find any solution to the problem of life. There's a nice song in this connection. Because of a great desire to have all happiness in life, I built this house. But unfortunately, the whole scheme has turned to ashes because the house was unexpectedly set on fire. The law of nature is like that. Everyone tries to become happy by planning in the material world. But the law of nature is so cruel that it sets fire to one's schemes. The fruity worker is not happy in his schemes, nor is there any satiation of his continuous hankering for happiness. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Sheyuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parichana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gaur Tushay Namah. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrijvanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So I again feel very unqualified to speak anything on Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, but we'll try to share something. So here we see this, the whole third canto. In the beginning we are seeing that how Vidura, in fact in Mahabharata itself we see that Vidura left his home when he was insulted and no one was listened to his good advice, and he went on pilgrimage. And then he met Uddhava, and he wanted to receive instructions from Uddhava, but Sri Uddhava told him that you please go to Maitreya Muni, and Maitreya Muni will give you instructions. And we see that Maitreya Muni, it is mentioned previous verses, that he received the instructions from the Lord by coincidence, Agyat Sukriti. Lord was actually giving instructions to whom? To Uddhava. And Maitreya Muni happened to be there, and he also received all the instructions. So then, Vidura, he went to meet Maitreya Muni, and where did he meet him? Haridwar. So he met him in Haridwar, and this is the first question which Vidura is asking Maitreya Muni. So we see the verse, and it is so simple even we try to understand from the Sanskrit, that Sukhaya Karmani Karoti Loko. People are doing various kind of activities to get Sukh. Sukhaya Karmani, various kind of karma or activities to get Sukh, pleasure. Karoti Loko. Loko, people in general are into various kinds of activities for some kind of happiness or sukh. Natai sukham, but they don't get sukh, they don't get any happiness. Natai sukham, there is no happiness. Va anyad, neither they are getting satiation. I mean, in a life, year after year, day by day, people are endeavoring for happiness. There is so much of struggle, no happiness. But still there is no satiation, neither there is detachment. This is so interesting. There is no satiation, no detachment, in spite of so much of troublesome life. So there is no satiation, there is no detachment. Sunatai sukham va anyad. There is no sukha va anyad, and neither there is uparamam. There is no satiation. They don't feel even satiated or detachment. In fact, vindeta bhuyas. So, in fact, what one gets, vindeta achieves, bhuyas, what one gets is on the contrary, one gets tat eva dukkham. Instead of sukham, what one is getting? Dukkham. So everyone is endeavoring so much for sukh, but instead of getting sukh, they are getting dukh. Yad atra yuktam. So please tell us, he is now asking Maitreya Muni, please tell me, please tell us, please give us direction. Bhagwan vadena. Please enlighten us. So he is addressing Maitreya Muni as Bhagwan. The word Bhagwan here is addressed to Maitreya Muni. That yad atra yuktam. Kindly tell us, Bhagwan vadena. Hey Bhagwan, hey Bhagwan. So even great personalities, great devotees are also addressed as Bhagwan many places in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So this is what Vidura is asking, that please give us direction on how one should live for real happiness. And Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport that Vidura, when he asked this question, this was not the intention. He just asked the question because of what reason Prabhupada gave? Natural humility. It was not artificial humility. It was a natural humility. With natural humility, he did not feel appropriate to directly ask about the Lord's pastime. So he thought, let me ask first this question. Out of natural humility, he asked something for the benefit of people in general. And we see this is very common in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and very common in our scriptures, where the great devotees have approached the Lord, but when they approach the Lord, they have asked very, very simple questions. Very simple questions. So you have some examples from our scriptures. Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami, when they approached Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they asked, Ke ami? Who am I? And why I am suffering three miseries, threefold miseries. So, this was a question asked by Sanatana Goswami, who was at that time, Prime Minister of the whole Bengal. And his question was, who am I? And why I am suffering in this material world? So, yeah, Sanatana Goswami asked very humbly to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Where else? Such simple questions were asked. We see that in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, very first canto, the sages of Naimisharanya, headed by whom? Saunakadi Rishi. They went to Naimisharanya and they asked question from whom? From Sut Goswami. And what was their question in the first chapter we hear? Tatra tatra anjasayusman bhavtayad vinishchitam pumsam ekantata sreyas tanna samsitum arhasi. Pumsam ekantata sreyas. What is good for people in general? Please tell us. What is good for people in general? That was the question asked by great sages of Naimisharanya. And even we see in Bhagavad Gita, when Arjun, he first asks a question to Lord Krishna in the second chapter. What does he ask? Karpanya dosho? Yeah, go on chanting. Upata savava prichami tvam dharma samuda cheta yasreyasyan nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham sadhi mam tvam prapannam. So he says, I don't know. Karpanya dosho upata svabhava. Because of miserly weakness, I don't know what to be done. Yashreyasyan nishchitam bruhi tanme. Please tell what is good for me. Now we know Arjun is an eternal associate of the Lord. He is not a common man and such a powerful military man. But again, such a simple question. Please tell me what is good for me. So like that, throughout we see in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, that great devotees, when they meet some other great devotees or Supreme Lord, their questions are not like they ask something which is beneficial for one and all. That is the intention. Even Srila Prabhupada writes here, that was the intention. And Vidura felt that eventually Maitreya Rishi will automatically, actually he wanted, as I was reading some more details to it, that Vidura wanted Maitreya Rishi to naturally speak about pastimes of Krishna without, specifically asking that way. So he asked very simple question, very common question for the benefit of one and all. Even we see Pariksit Maharaj, he asked from Sukadeva Goswami, what was his question? Someone remembers? What is the duty of a person who is about to die? And what else he asked? There's a question, please let me know what a man should hear, chant, worship, and remember, and what he should not do. Please explain me all these things. Shri Shri Radha Madhav ki jai, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai, Shri Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maiya ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So this was also the question asked by Pariksit Maharaj to Sukadeva Goswami. What is the duty of a man who is about to die? As well as he also asked what one should hear, chant, remember, worship. And in response to this question, Sukadeva Goswami starts answering, and in the second canto, in the very first chapter, in the very first beginning of the verse, what he says? He glorifies. What does he say in glorification? Someone remembers? Yeah, please go ahead. Varyan te prashna krito loko hitam nipa atmavit sammatah pumsham srotavyadisu yah para. The translation goes, Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, my dear king, your question is glorious because it is very beneficial to all kinds of people. The answer to this question is the prime subject matter for hearing, and it is approved by all transcendentalists. So even the question asked by by Pariksit Maharaj to Sukadeva Goswami replied appreciating, and he said it is good for people in general. So this is something we see throughout the Bhagavatam. Questions are asked, and Srila Prabhupada explains in one of the purports, I think in first canto, where he says that everyone is busy in this world asking questions and answers. From the time people get up in the morning, they are inquiring what is the news, what is happening in the outside world, what are the rates. And Prabhupada explains in that purport that this question and answer is not just in the human beings, but it is among every living entity. The birds start chirping in the morning and they have their own questions and answers. The animals are, so every living entity is busy in the question and answers. And throughout the day also, we are busy in question and answers. Who is singing today what? What is the menu in the prasadam? What time we are going for seva? Whatever, different kinds of outside world, people are busy in question and answers related to material life. And the best in there, Prabhupada explains that the best is to ask questions about our own enlightenment, how we can cross over the material world. And we read in Bhagavad Gita also, where Krishna says that a disciple approaches Guru to ask, what is that verse? Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadachanti te jnanam jnaninas tad pradarshina. So that's how one surrender, and pariprashnena, one asks questions, one does services, and then because the Guru has seen the truth, he can also enlighten his disciple because he has seen the truth. So we see like this, that one should approach very humbly, pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya, and then ask questions. So humility or be humble is very important before we approach to ask questions. Asking questions in challenging mood is not going to help us in our spiritual life at all. And we see that Srila Prabhupada's famous example, that when he got so frustrated with his disciples asking so many questions, Prabhupada said, what did he say? Someone remembers? Huh? And ask Krishna yourself. Yeah, that is also one answer. That go to his spiritual world and ask yourself from Krishna. He also said other thing. Yes, Mother Prabhu wants. Yeah, there's one question just asked. Prabhupada says, I asked just one question to my Guru. What was that question? How shall I serve you? How shall I serve you? Nothing more, just one question, Guru's instruction, and then that became the mission for Srila Prabhupada for the lifetime. So, there's so much example for us to learn from Srila Prabhupada. Just one question to his Guru. How shall I serve you? And that became the mission for the whole life. So further in the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains about that how the living entities or the human beings are working under the influence of illusory energy. In illusion, one thinks that he can be happy only by fruitive activities, but what actually happens is that one becomes more and more entangled. So this is something which we learn and hear every day. Still we try, of course, we are working on ourselves, but we observe people outside, that how everyone is struggling so much in fruitive activities, various kinds of activities, karma, just to get some kind of happiness. And they all under the influence of Maya, by the two energies of Maya. What are the two energies of Maya? One is Avaranatmika Shakti, and which covers a knowledge, like in Gita we hear Maya Prita Jnana, then Jnana is covered by a Maya. So that is Avaranatmika, it covers, Avaran. And because it covers, one doesn't think beyond day-to-day affairs of his life, how to just make his bread and butter, his food, shelter, as we learn from that verse from Mahabharata. What's that verse? Ahara Nidra Bhai Maithunam Cha. One doesn't think beyond these four things. And one struggles again and again whole day for the sukh. And this is, we can see all around in our very humble attempts of preaching, distributing books, inviting people to the temple. The most common answer is no time, or I will come soon, I will come one day. But if devotees keep on inviting, they don't come, and devotees only land to their house to give them some prasadam or to their office, because they have no time. They are so busy in this temporary affairs of this material world. So I was saying one is Avaranatmika Shakti, which covers, and the other Shakti is Prachepatmika Shakti. So this is, Prabhupada writes in the purport while explaining these Shaktis, Prachepatmika Shakti. It throws one into the material world. It just throws. So even one tries or thinks that I want to become spiritual, there's some kind of distraction and he's again pulled into the material world. And we have very common observation. Many times we have seen that students, sometimes they see our Tahrir Sankirtan Party videos, they call devotees and they say, we want to come, we have just booked the train, this time we will reach, but we keep waiting, they never come. They stop taking calls. Even sometime after practicing for some time Krishna consciousness, sometimes people just disappear. And never seen or heard for some years. And then suddenly seen in different forms and all. So, Prachepatmika Shakti just throws into the influence of the material world. So this is how Maya is working. And our acharyas explain that when a child is in the mother's womb, he is suffering so much of pain. And while he is feeling so much of pain, what does he do? He prays to Krishna that, please take me out and I will become your devotee. But once he comes out, then what happens? So much of love, care, that sansara lagilo bhalo. Bhajan by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Tumara bhuliya. So this material world appear to be a better place, and then Every day one endeavors to become more and more happy in terms of by going to play, small children, but then sometimes they break their bones, sometimes some kind of different kinds of pains. Then one goes to school or college and so much of struggle there also. Either for someone the struggle is to pass the exams, for someone the struggle is to maintain their performance. So, someone who is into rank 1, he is always into anxiety that how do I maintain my rank 1? And for some students it is some or other for them the celebration is pass the exams. So, that is also a struggle. Anxiety, in the dream it comes, I failed in the exam, I am late in the exam, at least I don't know about all of you, but I used to get such dreams. Miss the exam, what is going to happen? So, and when those times there was nothing digital, so we would get report cards and with so much of shaking hand open it to see what are the marks, what is the percentage, what is the rank in the class. So, and again next midterm or next year again endeavor. So we have all gone through such life. Again endeavor to get better performance. For some few minutes of marks we see in our mark sheet, and again endeavor so much of competition. And then one gets into college, again so much of struggle, then get into a job, working for hours and hours every day, morning to night, no time to spend for the family. We hear the story that there was a man who used to go early in the morning for job before his son would get up, and he would come back late night, again the son would be sleeping. So when the son grew up and he got some sense, then he asked his mother, one day he saw his father, he asked his mother, who is this man? Because when he was small, he never father would leave early in the morning, come late in the night, so never had interaction with the father. So sukhaya karmani karoti loko, for the pleasure one is working so much, everyone is working so much hard, struggling. And then we have this experience, couple of times, but in more than that, meeting people in Hyderabad, South India, especially Telangana. When we ask them, what are your children doing? And then they say very proudly, by the grace of the Lord, they are all settled in US. They say like this, by the grace of the Lord, they are all settled in US. But what is the grace of the Lord in this? We see in today's current political situation of the world, so much of wars going on. People felt Arab countries, Dubai to be so safe, but so much of war, it's become a war-filled, everyday missiles, anxiety, and no supply. Just imagine if after a month there is no supply of oil, then all machines will stop working. So this current political situation that the countries which are major supplier of crude oil to the whole world, they all are fighting. Missiles are dropping on each other. So where is the safety? Padam padam yad vipdam natesham. Every step is a danger. But still people have outside world hope that at least I am safe in my nest or in my area, I am safe, there is no problem. But who knows? No one knew a month back that there will be such fight. The political leaders, they have such heavy security. Political leaders, they have such heavy security that no one can find where are they traveling. But still we see that the supreme leader of Iran, he was killed by missiles sent from the outside countries. They were tracking him for a couple of years, his movement, and they killed him. He was the supreme leader of the country. And this is not now, it has been in history. Mahatma Gandhi was assassinated, Indira Gandhi was assassinated, so many prime ministers and presidents of other countries were assassinated. Such powerful leaders who were working very hard to provide some kind of facility to the people, and apparently they kept themselves in very comfortable, at least very secure environment, highest level of security, but even they were killed. So that's how is this material world. What to speak for common masses? Even such supreme people, so much power, they are killed. So, as very nicely explained in this purport, we can understand. One becomes more and more entangled in the network of action and reaction and does not find any solution to the problem of life. There's a nice song in this connection. Because of great desire to have all happiness in life, I built this house, but unfortunately the whole scheme has turned to ashes because the house was unexpectedly set on fire. Someone knows what is this bhajan? Sukhere lagiya, ye ghar bandhilu, agune pudiya gele. Who wrote this bhajan? Chandidas. Huh? No, I heard it is done Chandidas. This is a bhajan by Chandidas. Sukhere lagiya ye ghar bandhinu, agune pudiya gele. Sukhere lagiya ye ghar bandhilu. I made this house for happiness, but it has unexpectedly set on fire. And this is again common. People make houses, get so much of wealth, but what happens? There is a family fight, isn't it? Either fight between the brothers and there is a house split, the whole property is split, or sometimes they even kill each other. And there is some common now fight between spouses, husband and wife. So much of fight. Sometimes they kill, they go to court, it goes for years and years. So one buys a house in a very posh area, big apartment. Sometimes even they commit suicide in that house. And truly in this bhajan as it is written, Sukhere lagiya ye ghar bandhilu. I made this house thinking I will enjoy here and have happiness here. But the whole scheme has turned to ashes because someone set on fire. So it's common in this world. We might have seen even in our families that how everyone starts fighting. I remember when we were growing up, my father were 9 siblings, 5 brothers, 4 sisters. And total we were 28 cousins. But effect of time now, in few decades, everyone got nuclear family, everyone got separated. Small houses. Earlier the big house, as much as this ground floor was, only ground floor, but almost as much as big with this temple with a big angan. But now everyone got small houses split because of family or difference of opinion on land, property, everything. So it's a common affair in every house that. And even we see outside world in the businesses also, people make properties and the children split it. And unfortunately we see that in spiritual institutions also, that the disciples split and with difference of opinion. But here their cause is different understanding of philosophy to propagate Krishna consciousness. There the cause is the own sense gratification and just want to make their own financial situation more strong. So this is very much we can see all around in the world that people strive so much hard for happiness, but what happens? There is again and again frustration. Man proposes and God disposes, saying man proposes and God disposes. So everyone makes lot of plan, but Krishna has own plan. And people get married thinking that the life will be more nice, beautiful, but there are more challenges there. Sometimes it just turns into more disastrous situation, fights. And that's why we read in scriptures, actually those who are the family members, this is not what I am saying, scriptures say, that they are the previous life enemies. Previous life enemies. In this life they have become wife, children, parents. And that's why earlier it was difficult to fight because they were separate places. So now the law of nature has made together in one family. So easy to fight. Isn't it written? It becomes easy to fight because there is no outside interception. No one will come in between. Children, father, spouses, husband, wife fighting, who will come in between? This just goes on unless they go to the police or court. So that's all. So we should always remember that even if we are in a family, we are living with our previous life enemies. And we may expect any time some kind of friction, fight, even if we don't want, even if we are very good. Maybe we may be very well behaved, but the other party, the other members may not be so. So further Prabhupada explains the law of nature is like that. Everyone tries to become happy by planning in the material world. But the law of nature is so cruel that it sets fires to one's schemes. So yeah, we can observe sometimes there are tsunamis, sometimes there are famines, COVID, earthquakes, and everything is destroyed. Sometimes parents send their children to the Western world to study nicely, but sometimes they die there in some scenario. This is all we can hear every day in the news. It's a very regular thing. Still people try that, let me try for more happiness, and it is explained, it is just like you see reflection in the river of a mango down in the river water, and someone is jumping in again thinking how I can go get those mangoes. But are there mangoes? No, it is, where are the mangoes? Huh? Where are they? They are actually up. It's all reflection here. But no one is seeing up. Everyone is seeing the reflection in the water and jumping, and there are few people who are giving even coaching for that, how to jump better that you can get mangoes. So similarly, there are people who are giving coaching on how you can have a happier life, how you can have better relationships, how you can have, pleasing family. But it's not possible, because Krishna has said in Bhagavad Gita, what he has said? Dukhalayam shashvatam. Not one time, many times he has said. Other place, which verse he has said? Anityam asukham lokam. Anityam means which is not nitya, and asukham, there is no happiness. And one more place he has said, ye hi samparsacha bhoga dukkhayo nyayevate adya anta vanta kaunteya na teshu ramate buddha. Any pleasure trying to achieve through the senses, including mind, dukkhayo nyayevate, it is just going to give what? Miseries. It's a package. Externally it may appear to be happiness, but it is going to give miseries. Adya anta vatta kaunteya, it has a beginning, adi and anta. Na teshu ramte buddha. Those who are intelligent, they don't take any interest in it. They don't get into this. So, you should understand, this is not only meant for karmis or outside world. Even as practicing devotees, you should understand that trying to squeeze pleasure from the senses, it is just like that we are mistakenly chewing the bamboo, thinking it to be sugar cane. Thinking it to be sugar cane. Chewing the bamboo and thinking why there is no rus, and someone will say you chew better, chew from this side, chew from that side. And Sri Prahlad Maharaj said, chewing the chewed. Punas punas charvita charvananam. Again and again and trying to chewing the chewed. So, as we grow in your life, each one of us will have more and more experience of this. We'll be able to realize this if we are an association of devotees. And if we go away from association of devotees, then this will all become theoretical. Just like Dhritarashtra, he was aware that his sons are on wrong path, and any time when Vidura gave good advice, or even Lord Krishna came as Santi Dut, the standard answer was, what can I do? They are not in control. So even as practicing devotees, we should not think that the verses of Gita don't apply on us. If we are trying to squeeze senses, pleasure for our senses, or we are trying to seek happiness in this world, it is just going to give dukham, just like today's verse is mentioned. It is just going to give dukham. There is no sukh here. Krishna bhuliya ji bhogvancha kare, pasate maya tera, japati adhare. As soon as one forgets Krishna, bhogvancha kare, and tries to enjoy the senses, immediately maya captures, and then so much of trouble. So, you all are well aware of this. I am just telling from my own purification. There's a verse by Rishabdev, he tells to his children in the 5th canto. What is that verse? Nayam deho deho bhrijam niloke kastan kaman arhate vid bhujam ye tapo divyam putraka ye na satvam suddhe dyasmat brahma saukhyam tam anantam. He says, my dear son, don't try to seek pleasure. Now you have got this human form of life. In human form of life, don't try to seek pleasure, low pleasure, pleasure based on the senses. Such pleasures are even achieved by the pigs and lower animals. But what one should do? Tapo divyam putraka yena sattvam. Do tapasya. And what one gets by doing tapasya? Brahma saukhyam tamanantam. Higher happiness, eternal happiness, real happiness. So throughout we find this in our scriptures, how much we are able to follow up to us now. How much we are sincere to follow this. So in the concluding line of the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, the fruity worker is not happy in his schemes, nor is there any satiation of his continuous hankering for the happiness. And in the translation, in the last line he writes, please therefore give us direction on how one should live for real happiness. So that is the question asked. How one will get real happiness. And we have the answer in our scriptures. Like every day we read Shastakam, first verse. What is the line there? Anandam buddhi vardhanam pratipadam purnamrita swadanam. Anandam buddhi vardhanam pratipadam purnamrita swadanam. The ananda is day by day increasing. Anandam buddhi vardhanam. It is just increasing day by day. Sometimes, if we are not on the right association, in the right spirit, then it may be day by day we may get more frustrated in practicing spiritual life. So it's very important to check, are we in right association, following all the instructions sincerely. So the symptom is chanting the holy names regularly, Anandam buddhi vardhanam, Pratipadam purnamrita swadanam. Lord Krishna says in the 9th chapter, Bhagavad Gita, 2nd verse, Raj Vidya Raj Guhyam, Pavitram Idam Uttamam, Pratakshvagyam Dharmam, Susukham Kartum Avyam. Susukham, practicing this bhakti yoga is Susukham. And the pleasure which comes is Avyam, inexhaustible. Inexhaustible pleasure comes by practice of bhakti yoga. So we need to do some kind of our own analysis, introspection. What is happening in my spiritual life day by day? When I started practicing from day one and now today, is it susukham or is dukham? What is going on? Am I happy practicing my spiritual life? Am I, even if there are troubles in my seva, am I, facing it, just going on practicing happily, chanting Krishna consciousness and not so much bothered by all these troubles? So self-analysis, introspection is something very important for any sadhaka. Based on these teachings, practice of bhakti yoga makes one happy, makes one satisfied. What is happening to me? We should think about it. So this is the question asked, and I will also let you know right now the answer given by Maitreya Muni. Someone knows, can someone guess what answer Maitreya Rishi gave to this question? Okay, no guesswork. 382. 382. So it is, the answer comes quite after a couple of chapters. We are on the 5th chapter, and the answer is given by Maitreya Muni in the 8th chapter, 382. Are we there? So he again says the same thing. Maitreya Muni is answering it. Soham ninam chulla sukhaya dukkham. So he says, these human beings, Nrinam, Chulla Sukhaya, just little bit of pleasure, but so much of Dukkham. Mahadgatanam Virmayatasya. And they are into so much of troubles. So what is the solution? Pravarte Bhagavatam Puranam. Now I will speak. What is going to speak? Let me now begin speaking the Bhagavat Puran, which was directly spoken to the great sages by the personality of Godhead. Yadaha Sakchat Bhagwan Rishibhya. This Bhagavad Puran was directly spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead to the great sages. Who was that? The 4 Kumaras, the 4 Chatus Kumar, and they heard directly from the Lord. So he says, Let me now begin speaking on the Bhagavat Puran, which was directly spoken to the great sages by the personality of Godhead, for the benefit of those who are entangled in the extreme miseries for the sake of very little pleasure. So we saw the question which was asked by Viduram, that people are suffering and what is the guide us the direction for real happiness. And Maitreya Muni gives the answer that what one has to do? Hear Bhagavat, hear Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam from realized authorities and in parampara, and even the quality of hearing, hear it with unflinching faith and sincerely. So this is the solution which Maitreya Muni gave, which we will be again reading in detail later on. But he says, let me speak Bhagavatam, benefit for those who are entangled in the extreme miseries for the sake of very little pleasure. How much is the pleasure? Very little pleasure. But for that little pleasure, so much of trouble, so much of hard work one has to go through. So we can learn all these things from today's verse. Any questions? Abhishek Baldev Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much for the wonderful class, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, क्वेश्चन परपट में से है, जैसे प्रभुपाद जी परपट में लिखते हैं, A common man cannot understand the Lord. He must first know the real position of his life under the influence of the illusory energy. तो भगवान के illusory energy के अंदर ही हमको ये जानना है. तो लेकिन प्रभु जी जैसे कि एक प्रभुपाद लिखते हैं कॉमन मैन, और हम देखते हैं कि कैसे भगवान शिव जो है वो भी नारद मुनि जो है वो भी भगवान की माया से जो इतनी प्रभावशाली नहीं बच पाए, इंद्रदेव और ब्रह्मा जी भी काफ़ी उनसे ज़्यादा इन्फ्लुएंस हो गए. तो फिर इसका मतलब रियल मीनिंग क्या है प्रभु जी, कि हम खुद को समझ पाए, क्योंकि इंद्र जैसे महान देवता भी नहीं समझ पाए.
रियल मीनिंग वही है जो लिखा है, कॉमन मैन. सो इवन इफ ब्रह्मा जी और इंद्रदेव, if there was some kind of influence of Maya, that was not all the time, that was a very temporary effect. It was not that Brahma ji was doing it every day. He learned the lesson in very first day, I mean that Brahma Vimohan Leela which we know, and then he came back to right track. And even for Indra, the occasion of Govardhan, so he, and even Parijat, because it is explained there that he was not completely purified. So then the other pastime also happened. But he learned his lesson. And then they immediately start accepting the Lord, glorifying the Lord. But the situation of common man is, well, when we go and tell people, chant Hare Krishna, read books, what is the standard? No time to chant Hare Krishna. Even after telling that you are busy in so much of business, your father died, grandfather died, and you will also die. How much money you will take with you? What is the answer? They know, we will not take anything. But do they agree that, okay, let me then chant Hare Krishna, my eternal benefit? No, so that's how as a common man, that the intelligence has become so dull that even the teachings are given, they are not ready to understand. When Srila Prabhupada was preaching in some country, I think Germany, and people were not ready to listen the philosophy. Then Prabhupada said, okay, just do kirtan and distribute prasadam. Because they are not even ready to listen the philosophy. So the situation, this was better in Dwapar Yuga, that people could understand the position of life by, meeting sadhus and hearing some Krishna Katha. But now to even they don't want to meet sadhus and don't want to hear Krishna Katha. The situation has more deteriorated. Who is ready? How many people are ready to hear Krishna Katha? How many people we invite on festivals? How many come? So situation has become more bad. So those great personalities, or even Narad Muni, as you said, how many times it happened? It was just one instance, because Narad, there was some desire or something he wanted to know about, some pride, some stories like that, because of that. Because Lord doesn't want his devotees to develop any kind of pride. Doesn't want it. As soon as he sees there's a pride in his devotee, he immediately arranges a scenario so that the devotee becomes again humble. So they were not always in that situation. It was a very temporary thing. But for us it is Every day is a challenge. Attack of Maya every day. From the time we get up in the morning, I at least tend to get up to make sure that I reach by 4:29. So 3:55, 3:56, 3:57. snooze. So there's a working of Maya since the time we open our eyes in the morning. And then chanting around, so much of distraction, let me go up, let me go outside, fresh air chanting in the gallery. So, where is the taste in the holy name? It's very, very far away. But hopefully one day, when we are engaged in the service of the devotees and service of the parampara, one day we will be benefited. Just like Srila Prabhupada was traveling around the world, what did he say? I am not in New York. Where am I? I am in Vrindavan. I am sitting here in New York, but I am in Vrindavan. That was Srila Prabhupada said. So in many places he writes about Vrindavan consciousness. It's not just about being in the physical Vrindavan Dham, but being in Vrindavan consciousness, that always thinking of Krishna. So he said, I am not in New York, I am in Vrindavan. Similarly, while sitting here or going out and doing our services, if we just engaged ourselves, focused in the service, we are in good consciousness. But if we just keep on hip-hop and thinking, this is not good, that is not good, let me go there, let me take a break, this, that, then we are far away from practice of Krishna consciousness. Very, very far away. Sitting in New York, yes, few days back, on Gaur Purnima Day, there's a WhatsApp being circulated, Prabhupada's diary, 6th March 1966, where he says that I am all alone here today in Mayapur. There is an Adhivas going on of Gaur Purnima. I am all alone here. So that was the mood of a pure devotee, that he is always thinking of the Lord. Even if he is alone, thinking of the Lord, but for him the service of the Lord, service to Krishna is on higher side. That is more important for him, to serve Krishna. And to serve Krishna, he takes all kind of challenges, all kind of troubles, and then he is no more affected by the material situation. And we can see in the life of Srila Prabhupada and his disciples also, that how they were working so hard to do seva, they were above the bodily platform. Many times we have, and at least not many times, but couple of times I have seen personally, when we were studying in Surat, then His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj would come to ISKCON Surat, night 10:30, 11 o'clock, 9:30, or even if he comes early but goes for preaching program, return by 11:30, and goes to sleep, the servant would go to sleep by 12 o'clock. And we were students, so we were very excited to, be at the gate of the Maharaj at morning 4:15 onwards, so that, escort him to the temple hall. He will do Aarti. So he would get up, he would be ready by, 4:20, 25 would come out of his room. And I saw a few times the servants were still sleeping, and Maharaj would go and knock on the door of the servant's door. Hey, you all guys are still sleeping, get up. They both slept same time. They are young people. Maharaj is such old, but you just get up and be ready. Even no one went to wake him up. He was ready to go and do the Aarti. So much pleasure in serving the Lord, they don't want to waste their time. That is my observation. And even we can see right now, His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj, so much health issues, but what a enthusiasm to serve the Lord. What an enthusiasm with all health issues. Now just reflect in our life, health issues and our desire to serve, which becomes prominent, which takes away all our consciousness, and see their life, their health issues. Where are our health issues? Where are their health issues? We may have little bit of headache or back pain or something, and see the health issue of His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj, and see his determination to do the seva. So much for us to learn, that if we just go on doing service, as it is mentioned here, then even, whatever material trouble will be there, that will not deteriorate our consciousness. Our consciousness will be still on higher side. Just like Srila Prabhupada on the bed in the last days, he is still translating Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. People don't speak at that time. He is still translating Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So we should take inspiration from the life of these great devotees, that how they dedicatedly served whole life, and even when they became very old, their physical condition did not become a trouble or challenge their spiritual determination to serve the Lord. With some or other, with support, whatever, they are still going on serving. So, this is something for us to learn from them. So, then, adding to your answer, continuing, that is what will help us. Just go on serving will protect us from the influence of the Maya. To go on serving. In association of devotees, positively engaged, will protect us from the effect of Maya. Anyone else? Or should we stop here? So I wanted to sing one bhajan. I am not so good, but still we'll sing and then conclude. Atma Nivedana Tua Padi Kori. This is a bhajan by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, where he says that after I started practicing Krishna consciousness and I surrendered to you, how the life has completely transformed. Atma Nivedana Tua Pade Kori. Hoinu Parama Sukhi. Before we read, we just go through the translation. One by one, someone can read. Troubles encountered in your service shall be the cause of great happiness. For in your devotional service, joy and sorrow are equally great riches. Both destroy the misery of ignorance. So when there are troubles, don't feel bad, oh, I am in so much of trouble. No, they are also cause of great happiness, because they all will ultimately destroy the misery of this material world for us. Go on, next. So life is short, take the opportunity to serve, keeping good health. Health should be good. Okay, so do tal, correct? Bhajan. Atma nivedana tuva pade kori hoinu parama sukhi. Dukha dure gelo chinta na rohilo chaduke ananda dekhi. Ashoka abhaya amrita dhara Tomara charana daya. Tomara charana Tahe te khona vishram labhiya Chadinu bhavera bhaya. Vishram labhiya Tomara sansare koribo sevana nahibo phalera bhagi. Sansare koribo sevana nahibe phalera. Tava sukha jahe koribo jatana Hoi pade anuragi. Kori bojat Hoi pade. Tomara sevaya dukh hoye jato Seito parama sukha. दुखो यजतो सेतो परमसु सेवा सुख दुख परम संपदा नासाय विद्या दुख दुख परम संपदा नासाय विद्या पूर्व इतिहास भूलिनो सकला सेवा सुख पे माने इतिहास भूलिनो सकला सेवा सुख पे माने आमी तो तुम्हारा तुमी तो आमारा की काज अपराधाने आमी तो तुम्हारा तुमी तो आमारा की काज अपराधान भक्ति विनोद आनंदे डूबिया तुम्हारा सेवा रता रे विनोद आनंदे डूबिया तुम्हारा सेवा सब चेष्टा करी तब इच्छा मतो থাকিয়া তোমারা ঘরে সব চেষ্টা করি তব ইচ্ছা মতো থাকিয়া তোমারা ঘরে शिला भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की ग्रंथा श्रीमद्-भागवतम की जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की हरे कृष्णा।